massive thing. I think for me, the big thing was like the importance of kind of moments, whether it be spontaneously, if something arises, like when we were in Vietnam, and then we ended up having that drag race in the middle of the night. So we'd gone to a restaurant, we were going back to the hostel, and everyone just on their scooters, like, you're just sitting behind me, and we were just all chilling, and then just suddenly, someone goes a bit quicker, someone goes a bit quicker, and before we knew it, in the middle of the night on this massive street, we were just bombing it down at like 100 kilometers an hour on these tiny scooters, and then how we'd like lost half the group, and it was just complete mayhem. But I just remember that with such fondness, and I think that was a spontaneous thing that just happened, and something that I'll really remember. And then we also could have kind of orchestrated it, where when we went to KL and then we went around like interviewing all these people, that's something that we pushed ourselves to do, and then it ended up being like such an amazing night. So I think creating those moments and also tracking it is something that I've really taken away, because so obviously you kept that diary, that bullet point diary from the beginning. And I don't know why it took so long, but like only in like December did I decide, maybe copy Anna, that's a good idea. And only, when I was like reading through it just the other day, memories would come back that I just like completely forgot. And like the importance of just keeping track of things in, it almost might seem a bit systematic, but like the memories it brings back, like the benefit it brings, because it's so easy to just forget things. Your brain's constantly filtering, trying to get rid of things that it doesn't deem important. But actually, some amazing things that I'd completely forgot from being abroad just came back to me just by reading it. So yeah, creating those moments with people that are important to you, and like trying to record them in some sense to remember them later, I think has been like a big takeaway.
No, I think that's huge, definitely. And I just to add to that point, like even like the diary that I kept certainly wasn't detailed, and I wasn't, writing some kind of descriptive novel about my feelings and how I felt. It was simply like just kind of just bullet pointing what I did throughout the day, and that was enough. Like, it was a short thing to do, but like you said, it really brings back all those memories when you do go over those points again. And I do think that's a really useful thing to do, to track those memories and track the people that you meet and everything about that.
I think I kind of almost wanted to. I left it a bit after that. Like, I left Singapore. It's a shame, but like I'm trying to re-implement it. Just daily, just writing down what you do. If you make it a habit, then it's just a nice almost timeline of what you've done of your life. Because there's so much. It's almost a shame. Like, there's so much if I try to think back just through the years. Like first year at Bristol, I literally don't remember what happened in first year. It was it was like 4 or 5 years ago, but I'm sure there were amazing moments that like I'd love to cherish, but there's nothing to recall them with, and so I've just kind of forgotten. It is such a shame. So I think trying to kind of build that in every day, just even if it's just a normal day, you go to work or whatever, you're just at home, just tracking the little things, because I think that is part of being present. So actually, that's another thing I learned from you. When you used to be like, oh my god, guys, like, isn't it amazing that we're all here from all different countries, and like we're here together in this one location? And it, like, at the time it was like, yeah, but it was kind of funny and it was fine. But actually, you're completely correct, where if you really take the time to just appreciate like everything that you have at the moment, I think your baseline level of happiness is just like higher. You're just not always constantly thinking about the past, thinking about the future, but actually just like you're just more chilled out, and like you appreciate things a lot more. So I think kind of tracking your day, it's like almost a gratitude journal in itself.
100%. Yeah, I'll always remember, and I think this is one of the reasons why I was motivated to spend my time abroad, was because of how I felt when I went to China. I just remember that was kind of my first time kind of going abroad, and obviously spending my time with like a random group of people from around the world. And on that first night, we all met. We went out for dinner, and we were just sat around this round table, and I just had this sense that, oh my god, like yesterday I was just at home in the UK, kind of doing my own things. I'd lived my 19 years of life, doing whatever I was doing, and everyone around that table also, the day before, were either traveling or back in their own home countries doing their own thing. And suddenly at that moment, our lives have just been kind of pushed together, and now we're going to spend this next 10 days together. Random group of people from around the world that have lived X amount of years previously. And for me, that was just like, I just really loved that thought. So yeah, I think that kind of thought kind of stuck with me when I was in Singapore as well. Like, it was just awesome knowing that for some reason, like, all our lives had kind of come together, and we're spending this time together with each other. And yeah, and it was just awesome. There was another point that I was just thinking about when you were talking about the diary. That was it. The other thing about writing the diary for me, I remember points when, especially when it was coming up to our exam time and in our midterms, that I would literally just be getting up, revising, and doing nothing else. And that's what I'd be writing down in my diary. And I was like, I can't just be writing down this in my diary. Like, it motivated me to just do other things in the day, because I didn't want to look back on that and think, oh, I've done nothing in my day. So the fact that I was almost holding myself accountable, like writing something down, like, this is what you've done, it just made me do more as well.
I guess it brings your mind like to the present to really like evaluate kind of, or go over kind of what you've just done and put things in perspective. Whereas it could just be easy to kind of, you know, same in quarantine, I suppose, just go through every day, like the day's the same, but actually the week's gone, then the month's gone, and actually what have you done? But if you do that every day, then you might catch yourself and be like, this is the time to change things up, do things differently. So definitely a good shout.